Harry's relationship with Sarah and Jane has always been quite solid. He calls them his red ants because at one time, they both had red Spencer hair. They're both gray now, but they have made the effort to keep in touch with Harry. Remember it was Sarah who went to see Harry after the death of Diana and took him here his birthday present. I think it was his 13th birthday present, which was a PlayStation. And so they've always had a special place for him because they felt very much so that they had to, because they were family. They were, Diana was a Spencer and always considered herself a Spencer. The relationship with Charles is a little more tenuous because again going back to the time that Diana died, they hadn't been speaking and he gave this very emotional address at the funeral, which was completely brilliant, but it was quite shocking at the time because it seemed to be critical of the royal family and saying, we the Spencer, she's one of us, much more if you don't want her with you, as part of the royal family we will take her back into our hearts. But she never really left their hearts, but at one time her brother, Charles, refused to let her have a house on the estate she was really looking for, a country house which she would be able to spend time with her boys, because she and Charles had them at equal amount of time, and of course when they were with Charles they had lovely country house, they could go to High Grove, they could go all over the place, but when they were with Diana they really only had a Kensington Palace, or they had to go abroad, but she was desperate to find some bolt in the countryside, and he said yes, and then he said no, and she was really upset as only Diana could be. She was really upset and he said no because I really don't want the baggage that goes with you. I don't want paparazzi swarming all over the estate, and I just don't want the aggravation. And that, of course, is when she decided to go off on holiday to the south of France. But I think the Spen has probably understand family dynamics are very difficult. After all, Charles is sort of disintegrating his third marriage. I think the girls really understand, and I think they've always been very careful to protect Harry as much as they can, but there is a limit to what they can do within the royal family, because William being a working member of the royal family is far busier than any of the others. So it's difficult for them to sort of touch base with William and find time, and he's got so many problems of his own. I feel that they very much haven't wanted to burden him with anymore, and they probably don't want to interfere. They probably feel actually isn't our business. They would be very wary of interfering. It's such a delicate situation between William and Harry. I think obviously William is very well aware that his aunts and his uncle would like he and Harry to make it up and be friends again, but it's not that simple. I think they would be very wary of interfering. They would possibly say some encouraging words to William when they see him. I mean, they obviously saw him at a Lord Fellow's funeral recently, but these are not sort of things that you can just suddenly spring in. Probably it would be easier to do something like that on the phone rather than actually face to face, because they might say, come on William, perhaps you could really Harry is really very sorry. But is Harry really very sorry? This is the burning question. Is Harry really sorry for what he's done? And I think that's what William is waiting to hear. It's not impossible to come over here under radar. It just means you don't want to stay in a sort of high-end hotel where everyone can see you coming and going. There's a few places that Harry can stay that are very discreet, so he would be able to come over here. I mean, he certainly came over here when he heard that his father was suffering from cancer, and we didn't know he was coming until there was announcement. So it is possible to do. Of course it's possible. So I feel that the Spencers would welcome him with open arms, and I think they're really trying to provide a family for him, a bit of a backbone of family, because he hasn't really got that where he is, because Meghan doesn't see her family. He's got Meghan's mom, and that's about it. If he has a reason to come back, which he does, he will definitely come back. But I think when you just to get on a plane and fly 5,000 miles for no reason, probably isn't the sort of top of his mind, but he will come back, and he can come back, and he has plenty of reasons in the future to come back. So, but I just think that Meghan won't come back until this issue of security is sorted, and maybe it won't be sorted. Thanks for watching this video.